Okay, so we're recording. So Laura, I think I'm just going to hand it to you and you can introduce Ilana and then we'll go from there.
Sure. Well, thank you everybody for joining. My name's Lara Ross. I work at the Beachbody New York office. A little background on, me. I've been with the company 14 years, responsible for product development and infomercial development. I've been around a long time, since like about the launch of P90X, certainly before there was a Shaun T. And what I've most, all product development, infomercial development, every Shaun T program, starting with Hip Hop Abs all the way through Shaun Week. And, a little bit about me. I've lost, I used to be 50 pounds heavier and struggled with my weight for years and years and years. And I always worked out like crazy, but I just couldn't get a handle on the food side of it. And until I realized that I was just eating probably healthy food, but just too much food. And ended up losing like 10 pounds a year. Have really managed to, keep it off, and have, spent my career, developing fitness and weight loss programs, and helping, lovely people like yourself. One of the things that for 14 years, Carl and I've been talking about is, it's sort of a joke that I don't exercise very much, and trying to develop a weight loss program, help people like you, help your customers, lose weight, that really addresses the food issue. I'm sure many of you guys can relate to that either personally or through your own businesses. We've looked and looked. We've, worked on a whole bunch of concepts. And I had the pleasure of meeting Ilana Muhlstein about 2 years ago. And, we were talking to her about various Beachbody related projects. And through all of our meetings and conversations, it became very clear that she not only had lost 100 pounds and had an unbelievable weight loss story, but she actually had a program. And myself, I've had struggled with nighttime emotional eating for over 25 years. And despite, mindfulness books and therapists and whatever, I could never figure out how to stop eating in the middle of the night after dinner when I'm certainly not hungry. And this lovely lady has certainly helped me. And we've spent the last 2 years developing a program based on her, approach and her philosophy. And we're super excited as we get ready to launch. But similar to our fitness programs where you watch videos and you get in shape, you're going to watch, we've created a series of videos which will teach you her philosophy. It's as if you were, getting to go into her office and get private counseling from her, 10, 12 sessions. So we have a great program coming out to you guys, and we're super excited. Something totally, totally different than anything we've ever launched at Beachbody. So obviously, Melissa, you're here. You've been through the program. You've met Ilana, and you're going to host this call. But just want to tell everyone thank you for coming and how excited we are to have you here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lara. Okay, so Ilana, I'm like so excited to talk with you and for everyone to have the opportunity to hear from you, mainly because as Lara kind of explained, I had the opportunity to be in the second test group, the first coach test group. And I was in a place where, I've always been really fit-ish in my life. Like I've always been an athlete. But after having my third baby, I kind of, when I was 6 months postpartum, when everyone thinks, you should be well on your way to losing your baby weight, I still felt just like stuck. I felt stuck in my health. I felt stuck like I wasn't living up to what my role was as a coach. And then I had the opportunity to work with Ilana. And I think the name To Be Mindset is so perfect because it was completely a mindset shift for me. And I recognized all the things that I was doing and all these trends in my health that I had experienced throughout my whole life. And in just like 1 month, being able to kind of overcome those things and really get my mind right and have a much better relationship with food. I think I was 12 pounds the first month, and I'm down 15 now and completely maintaining, and I feel amazing. And everyone has noticed. Everyone's like, what are you doing? I want to do what you're doing. And so it's just been a long time coming, and it's so exciting to see, people on our team, some people who are on this call today who are in the second coach test group and the third coach test group. So it's just really cool to see just kind of the ripple effect that Ilana has on people. And you guys, She's amazing. You're going to fall in love with her like all of us have. She's so fun, and she makes, like, I think you guys have heard her say in the Super Saturday video, you know, she makes losing weight really fun and happy, and it's not a negative experience. You don't feel deprived. And so, Ilana, I think it would just be really fitting if you could maybe tell a little bit of your story, and so people can get to know you a little bit.
You're so awesome, and everyone is in good company here. It's like, as I always say, when one person's successful in this program, everyone is, because it really takes a supportive group that hopefully you guys will be part of and running, because you see, like, that's really where, like, everyone learns and feeds off of each other's positivity and becomes more successful in the process. So we're in good company here. Yeah. Thank you so much for organizing this. So I'll start with a little bit of my story. So my name is Ilana. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for being on today, and for Brittany, Jerica, Rihanna, like Shay, like all your beautiful children for being here too. So cute. I am a registered dietitian, but you'll probably relate more to my story as just someone who's just totally and completely struggled with her weight. I was always the big kid. We were always just even like the big family, like the family with the fat gene, who loved a lot of food, and just looked bigger than others. But I was a really, really big kid. And I always loved a lot of food. We were foodies, and you know, my parents were always trying different diets. I always remember my parents going away to retreat, starting Atkins, doing this, not eating that. Like, just, you know, it was just like the talk in my house was always either about eating a lot of food or being on a restrictive, horrible diet. And so it was just something that my head was filled with at such an early age. But it was really when I was 4 years old that, you know, my struggles started, I guess, escalating in a way, because my parents got divorced, and you really see a shift in my childhood pictures and even just persona, because I just started turning to food as a coping mechanism unconsciously, right? There's a lot of instability in my home, and a lot of moving around, and marriages and divorces and step siblings and ex-step siblings and silly stuff. And food was my mainstay. That was my stability. That was my comfort of choice. And I loved it and lived for it. And it was everything I would consume myself with. I couldn't do a lot of things my friends could. And so food was like my friend during the time. I remember when I would plan for going to birthday parties, I would just think about pizza and the cake, and not necessarily about the activities we were doing that day, because I felt like I couldn't even do activities like everyone else. So, you know, I did ballet, and then I saw girls like laughing at me in my leotard, so I never went back. You know, I couldn't do gymnastics. I felt like I was just so different than everyone else, and I was so different than everyone else. You know, I couldn't do the monkey bars, so I never tried again. Like, I was just letting my childhood kind of escape me, because my eating was really just so much of my focus and out of my control. And it not only was physically like embarrassing, but it started becoming a health issue. So my doctor, like at a really young age, started, you know, warning my parents at every doctor visit. It was so, like, imagine being a 5-year-old kid and already dreading doctor visits. But my doctor just kept saying, like, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Like, what are you going to do, parents? How are you going to overcome this for her? And my parents didn't have a solution, because they didn't have a good relationship with food in their bodies. So my eating just kept getting worse in a way. I would just eat like jars and jars of peanut butter. I would just eat like huge amounts of takeout food. You know, I would just find whatever cookies and cakes I could find. I started walking to school by myself at a young age. I would start like getting ice cream, Snickers bars as my breakfast to and from school. Like, we're silly, mindless, emotional, whatever eating. And I just kept getting bigger and bigger. And it was when I was 8 years old that I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, like, no, not okay. Like, this is getting scary. Like, and I remember her clearly telling my parents, like, we're seeing, not only is she so overweight and obese and doesn't seem like she's getting a fun childhood, but I'm starting to see that her labs look like what I would expect in a middle-aged man. Like my blood sugar levels were high. My cholesterol was high. It was getting dangerous and really unhealthy. And so at 8 years old, she and my parents sent me to weight loss camp for 9 weeks. So for over 2 months, I went upstate New York completely by myself as an 8-year-old kid in the youngest bunk, and had to do this like diet camp where I had nutrition classes. I was weighed, I was measured, I had before and after pictures. I waited online for my pre-portioned meals. I had exercised like 10 hours a day, which is totally and completely ridiculous. But thinking about it, but at the same time, I loved it because I got to lose weight. And it felt good. And it was summer camp. So, and I made friends, and these were kids who can relate to me in a way, and I could actually share clothes with. So, I actually at a very young age had a very positive association with weight loss. Unfortunately though, I would like lose 30 pounds in the summer, feel good, but then I would just gain it all back and more, right? Because nothing changed. My family went back to their ways. I went back to mine. So I would just gain it all back and more. So then what I would do is just go back to camp the next summer, lose about 30 pounds and then gain back like 45 or more. And I did this yo-yo destructive pattern for years. It was really horrible. And I just kept getting bigger and bigger with time. And I used camp as like an excuse to go all out during the school year, or just I relied on it. And it was just a super negative cycle of yo-yo dieting. At just such a, just through my whole, childhood. And I eventually just kept getting bigger and bigger. And during the school year, my parents would try to do some things, they would try to send me to like different specialists or send me to Weight Watchers or try to get me doing whatever they were doing, but it wasn't going to work because I was never going to follow a diet. I've always loved food. I love always eating lots of food, and I always just like living my life in the best possible way, in the easiest possible way. So nothing was going to work. But then I topped off at my highest weight, which was 215 pounds, and I was only 5 feet 2 inches tall. And I was just really big and round, and I was only 13. So my friends were still shopping in Gap Kids, and I couldn't even find clothes in adult stores. I had to custom order size 20 online, for, some things that would work. And then when it came to like a fancier event, my mom would take me to fabric stores and a seamstress, and we would have to piece something together because I refused to walk into Lane Bryant as a 13-year-old kid. It was horrible. So, I was still sociable and fun in a lot of ways, but I was just being so weighed down by my weight. And so that summer going into high school, I was going back to camp. I weighed in at 215 and I remember just saying like, enough's enough. Like this summer, I'm going to try to lose as much weight as I can at camp. But when I come back in September and go to high school, I'm committing that I'm never gaining this weight back ever again. And I'm just not. And I'm changing my mindset and I'm gaining control over this. And so that summer I lost like 30 pounds. I went into high school around 185 and I was committed to finding a better way, a better approach. And so I started thinking, what is going on in the summer that I can apply to my everyday life now? Like, what are just some tools? I can't work out 10 hours a day. I can't eat those pre-portioned meals, but what can I do? What are some tools that will make sure that I at least don't gain it back? What are some tools that I can start weaving into my life so at least I'm not getting back, and maybe I could even start losing some more weight? And I started learning from whoever I could, because I didn't have the most positive influences surrounding me per se, but if I saw a family, of my friends who had healthier habits, I would learn from them. I would have sleepovers. I would say, what are they eating for dinner? Because everyone likes to say they have the fat gene or the slow metabolism, but I would start to notice that these families are eating differently. They do have a more positive relationship with food. Their pantries don't look the same. And I would start seeing what are they doing? What can I start weaving into my life that would have this positive influence on me, so I could keep eating lots of food and lots of it and keep being social while losing weight. And for the first time, I started losing weight on my own. And then I went to college, and I knew I always wanted to make a career out of this. I knew I always wanted to be a dietitian. because I was seeing dietitians since I was 8 years old. And they were always, positive and friendly, got to speak about food, and had a really smart intellectual knowledge of food that I wanted to get myself, because I was always thought nutrition was fascinating, but I also wanted to make sure that if I was going to help others do this, that I was coming from the most sensible and credible. So I went to the University of Maryland. I got my Bachelor of Science degree in nutrition and dietetics. And I started, applying what I was learning in school to what I was currently doing. And I still joined a sorority. I still, went out all college. I still had boyfriends. Like, I still lived my best life while still kind of refining this system that works for me no matter what. And then I, became a registered dietitian. I later went on to get my master's degree in nutrition. And when I graduated, UCLA hired me to lead a weight loss seminar, because at that point I was down 75 pounds. And I was down 75 pounds. I was a dietitian, and they said, "Here, we have a weight loss program we want to kick off. It's 100 UCLA employees who need to lose 40 pounds or more. Here's 12 weeks, create a curriculum, and lead this program." And so that was really my first time taking what worked with me and started, applying it to others. And within this group of 100 people, I had everyone. I had like every nationality, every education status, every financial status. I had like men who are janitors on their feet all day, cooks in the kitchen, maybe 19, 25 years old, young. And then I had secretaries who sat all day, who are post-menopause and 75, and everything in between. So women who just had kids, women who are nurses, men, everything, people working overnight shifts and beyond. And it was just a really diverse population. And I just started experimenting with what's working for these people and how do I break it down into like kind of a 12-week seminar. And it was successful. It worked. But, UCLA and I were very excited that, the average weight loss was maybe 12 pounds in 12 weeks, but we wanted to see if we could take it to the next level. So I started in between semesters. I ended up teaching for 10 semesters. And every semester I would kind of reflect like what was so successful that last semester in week 6 that I should maybe bring up to week 1. What did I tell people that was like a waste of time, that didn't really help anyone? What did I tell people that really helped everyone, and how can I, optimize that? And in addition to teaching in a group setting, I would also meet with every person one-on-one. So I also got to hear everyone's internal struggles. And a lot of people in these one-on-one sessions would be like, "I don't know, Ilana, between you and me, I just really battle with this, or I really struggle with this, or I really don't know what to do about this." And then I'd be like, wait, no, everyone's thinking that. Everyone feels that way. Everyone has that issue. And I realized like, there's so much internal struggles that we all have with food in our relationship. And I started realizing it, and I do, and they do. And so I started like saying, I need to come up with a strategy for that. I need to come up with a process for that. I need to come up with a tool for that. And I started working in my private practice in Beverly Hills as well. And every single semester, and all my clients, like everything kept improving as I kind of like kept reworking the system and kept refining and optimizing, the best points for everyone. And by my 10th semester teaching at UCLA, the average weight loss over doubled. It fell somewhere between 24 to 25 pounds in the 12 weeks. And then my private clients were succeeding as well. And in the meantime, I got pregnant. I had my daughter. I went back into weight loss mode. I lost my last 25 pounds by kind of just like that reworked, super successful, like narrowed focus program. And then I met Beachbody. And then I met Beachbody, and I said, "Here's the program. It's great." And then they said, like, let's take it to the next level. Let's refine it. Let's work on it. Let's test it properly. And so for the past 2 years, Lara, Caitlin, Beachbody, and I have like been taking everything I had, but like literally taking it to a whole new level, running test groups for now over a year, and bringing it to life for all of you to start next month. So that brings us to today.
I love that. And I love hearing, hold on, I love hearing kind of like how you got the idea, because you really were talking to people of all different types. And it's cool because I'm sure a lot of people can relate to too, but like when you're talking about yourself as a kid, like I remember hiding in my closet, like eating candy bars or like getting the like you said, the peanut butter jar. And it was just, I felt like people couldn't know. And I had such like a secretive relationship with food. And to know that like you struggled with that, and like, look at you now, you look amazing, and you're like about to have a baby, and you've created this program that is changing hundreds and thousands of people's lives, and soon probably millions, so it's just really
I think that's like the biggest thing that I love about this program is that I think everyone's so embarrassed by their food choices, or like thinks that they're so unique and so many and having different struggles. But there's like no person on earth who doesn't, even if they seem so fit and healthy and happy, like there's not one person on earth who doesn't sometimes feel like they overdid it or they overindulged, or you know what I mean? Like we all have this thing, and our relationships with food that have been brewing since we're nothing, and based on what our parents have given us, and we all can use a reboot, a relift, and a more positive focus with it.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are going to ask this question, so I think it would be good to talk about, because you are pregnant, and I know that we had quite a few pregnant women in the test group just to look and see kind of how it would fit into their lifestyle. And I know it's not for pregnant women.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
program is for pregnant women, but it is such a healthy lifestyle that I think it can be adaptable for anyone. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely seeing a lot of young moms here, and I'm 8.5 months pregnant. So I know like a lot of people are wondering if they can do this while pregnant. The issue is like we did test it on people who are pregnant, and like as much as we had them revise it, like they got really nervous because, it's an effective weight loss program. Like this is a very, very effective weight loss program. And if you follow it to a T, you are going to lose weight. And that's just not appropriate for a pregnant woman. So if a pregnant woman started this program, she would likely lose weight, freak out, her doctor would freak out and just wouldn't be healthy. So we are not recommending that pregnant women start this program while pregnant for that reason. However, if you do this program not pregnant, postpartum or before or whatever, if you do this program not pregnant and you really like develop a just more positive relationship with food, your body, you're going to learn so much about how to look at food in a better, more positive, like purposeful way. Then if you get pregnant down the line, you will very likely have a very healthy and positive, hopefully, pregnancy. But I don't recommend this to start when pregnant just because it's an effective weight loss program. So while there's like nooks and crannies that obviously just relate to healthy eating that everyone can benefit from, I would not start this program while pregnant unless we like down the line created like a special modification thing, which we just won't have ready by launch.
Totally. And I do think you're
breastfeeding, right. Yes. Like breastfeeding women, like we've had so many in the test group breastfeeding women.
I was one of them.
Yeah.
And it was amazing because you have such strong cravings when you are nursing that, with my other kids and before, I was 6 months postpartum and I just couldn't figure out the best way to sustain those. And with your program, it was like a no-brainer. And all of a sudden the weight just started falling off, because you feel so hungry, but what we think we need are not the things that we need. And so I'm excited for everyone because I know, our team, we have tons of moms, we have tons of women who are nursing and lots of questions about, is this safe? And so, it definitely is safe.
Yeah. And then, the other question about like who the program is for, it's definitely for, and if there's any men on the call, like like the men who do this program are extremely successful too. And also like the women who do this program, even if their husbands don't think they're formally doing it just by living in your household, like typically there's an incredible domino effect. So, you'll definitely see that. But it's for, anyone who needs to lose 5 to 200 plus pounds. It's also for people who don't feel like they need to lose any weight, but just need a way more sensible, like easy, freeing, and positive relationship with food, and approach to eating. So there are a lot of people who've done the test group who didn't think they have any weight to lose, but they just realized how negative they were in their relationship with food that like totally improves. Like they used to beat themselves up or feel guilty or feel like they need to over exercise anytime they ate something different, and it's like so not the case. All of that like goes out the window when you do this program. You're not going to feel like you're ever cheating, you're ever bad for anything, because that's, we're all good people. So we should never beat ourselves about anything relating to food. It's definitely, great for people who don't exercise. So if you did just have a baby and you aren't yet approved for exercise, or you're injured, or you just don't have time, or you just don't love exercising, or feel that good in your body when everything is jiggling, because I've been there and I get that. You could absolutely do this program and lose a ton of weight. And then you'll see like these people who do this program without exercising, if you push people to focus on this and not exercise at the start if they don't like to, you will see like these will be the same people that are going to like knock down your door in a few months and be like, now tell me what Beachbody program I should do, because look how incredible I look and how confident and empowered I feel in my body. Now I want to take it to the next level. So definitely for people who don't want to start with exercising, don't want to go there, will love this. And then we'll eventually probably be like your greatest fitness enthusiast down the line. When it's not looked at as like enforced or anything like that from the beginning. And then also for like maybe you or tons of people that you may know who do work out, who are fitness junkies, who do the programs, who do the gyms, who do all that stuff, but aren't seeing the results they want because their eating is so out of control. And so a lot of people have been asking, like, what if you are that person? This is one question that keeps coming up. Like, what if you are someone who loves to work out, but you do need to lose weight? Like, what do you recommend? And I really recommend you dial down the workouts a little bit while you start this program, and not stop. Some people are like, oh my God, you're telling me to stop, and that's how I relieve my stress, and now I'm a monster. Like, definitely don't want you doing that. I love to exercise. I know it makes me feel like I'm a better mom and I'm more patient with everything in my life. So I would never tell anyone to stop exercising, but I do recommend if you're, eating is in a silly place, or you're exercising just to earn other food, or you're eating because you feel like you need to compensate for or you're working out to compensate for your eating, and it's just in a negative state, I recommend you maybe dial down from like hammer and chisel to 3-week yoga retreat, or like Body Beast to PiYo or size, or just to walking. And rather than feeling like you need to work out 6 days a week, maybe do Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, while you really focus on this. So if you do like to exercise, you don't have to stop by any means, but I do recommend like you maybe for the beginning of doing this, like you put more of your time and energy into this. So you have a better idea of like what your body really needs, and then you weave in the more intensity exercise. So that's my best recommendation, but you don't have to take it. You can continue doing whatever you want.
Okay, Ilana, I know a question just popped up that I know you kind of addressed with our test group, and that I really think would be good to talk about. We're all moms, and that you and I struggled, and so many people struggled as kids who were overweight or obese. Kristen has shared that she has a 9-year-old daughter who is obese, and she really, that was why she became a coach. She wanted to set the example for her. And she wants to know, like, how involved should she get with 2B Mindset? Like you said, it's kind of like a ripple effect, but how can she get her daughter involved in this without?
It's a great question. It's a great question. I really, 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 really recommend, I think the best part of this program is that while you're on it and while you're going to feel like you're making all these changes, it's going to feel super positive, and no one's actually going to realize you're doing it. We were just on a call with Katie, and Katie has these incredible stories about her kid offering her a brownie and her saying no thanks, I'm good. And her son saying but mommy, you're not on a diet this week. And she's like, I've actually never been more focused on a program and lost more weight, but no one realizes because I'm not doing anything too different than anyone else, and everyone's just seeing the effects. And then she said to her husband, honey, can't you tell that I'm the happiest I've ever been on a program? And her husband goes, I forgot you were even on a program. One of the best parts of this is that it is so seamlessly weaves into your everyday lifestyle, and it is so positive. So my best recommendation if you have a 9-year-old who's overweight is to really do this program for you. Even if you don't feel like you have a lot of weight to lose, just doing the program, learning about the program, learning how I break down food groups, what we need at every meal, how to go about meals, how to travel, how to go to events. which everything gets adjusted in this program, will help you better address these scenarios and situations and be a role model for them so your kids can benefit from that too. If they're really mature and motivated, kids can definitely like hop on your lap if they're motivated and they're smart. It is very positive focused. Like they can definitely sit on your lap and hear how I talk about, what we need at different parts of the day or food groups. Like it's actually very interesting to learn. But in terms of like doing the structured parts of the program that ensure you lose weight, like my foundational principles, I wouldn't, hammer into them because they won't need it. At 9 years old, just seeing mommy do this positively and happily, you will, and we've seen this consistently in test groups, you will see your kids start eating better. Be patient. It's not going to happen tomorrow. But like with time, after a few weeks, like you're going to see your kids are going to start really improving the way they eat, and probably slimming down if they needed to. And then, if you're, and then I under like 15, I just recommend like you be the best role model. You're going to see like, it's a very contagious thing. Like your friends, your coworkers, your family, like every nanny I've ever had has lost like 50 pounds working for me because like, you'll see, like, there's a video on how to set yourself up for, how to set your kitchen up for success, how to order takeout, how to cook, like, how to go grocery shopping. Like when you start doing this, your kids will benefit. And then if you have a kid that's like maybe 16 or older, super motivated, then they could definitely, do this program if, you're supervising and it's sensible and your doctor's on board.
I love that. Yeah. So kind of like moving forward and like this, leads right into this perfectly. Like, what do you feel like coaches and people that we are working with as coaches, what will they gain from the 2B mindset?
Oh my gosh. First of all, everything, because this is not like a program where people like buy it from you and then they can just like press play and do it on their own. It really takes a group dynamic. And I know a lot of those fitness programs also require the group dynamic to keep each other motivated and supported, of course. But this program is like to kind of take that to a whole new level, because in a lot of ways it's much easier, right? This program is a lot easier than doing a fitness program in so many ways because you're already eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now you're just eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's filling, it's delicious and satisfying with the 2B mindset. You're already going to events like and all this stuff, and you can seamlessly weave this into your life. You're watching the program sitting down, not, sweating, doing burpees. So obviously in a lot of ways, this is a lot easier than the workout programs. But in the other respect, I'm presenting the information in the videos, but it's really when it goes in motion that everyone becomes successful and knowledgeable on it. And that in motion happens within these test groups, within these groups that you guys are going to be running. It's really like more than ever, I think this program more than any other is really going to depend on a coach. And it really, like people are going to rely on you, depend on you. You're going to rely on them to really reinforce the positive mindset and have everyone continuously lose weight. There's some people who are going to watch the program and videos who will be like, I get it. It makes sense. I got this. That is going to be like 10% of people. The other 90%, most people are going to need that constant support, reinforcement. And we've been working really hard on a success group guide. So I know you guys are used to the like challenge group guide, but I was really insistent we take the word challenge out of this because as Melissa can say, I think life is a lot more challenging without this program than with this program. This actually will make your life easier in so many ways. So we have a success group guide and that you're all going to get, and I really recommend you use it for your best posts for yourself, but also to share with others. And please, please, please join my group. So starting May 2nd, I'm going to be running a Facebook private group for just coaches, and I really want all you beautiful people to be on it so I can learn from you and we could all work together. And then we're recommending that you don't start your challenge groups, your other groups, until May 14th. That way you have an opportunity to really do this program because you are going to sell this program way better if you actually do this program. So I know that a lot of you are already into the like, I got to sell it. It's a product. It's really different than anything else. It's not like if you see the before and afters, it's not that like people just look better. They're glowing, they're happy, they're free. It's not like when you see someone lose weight on a pill or a juice cleanse and they look like gaunt and depressed and like they're starving. It's like when people lose weight with this program or they just do this program, they glow, they're happy, they're fulfilled. And you've got to give yourself the opportunity to experience that for yourself. And when you do, everyone's going to be knocking down the doors. So my best advice to all of you is like to actually do the program, actually be part of my group.
So how can you talk about how they can get into your group? So what Ilana's talking about is the coach group that she'll be running. It's office hours with Ilana. Mm-hmm. She's allowing for all coaches who are purchasing or getting the 2B Mindset program to get specific feedback and, ask her questions, kind of like we got with you in the
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So it starts May 2nd. So the earlier you get the program, the absolute better. So the second it goes on sale May 2nd, please get it right away because I am due the end of May. And I really want to be able to spend as much time with you guys as possible, but it'll run like forever, but you really want to get in as soon as possible. So it's kind of like, I don't know if any of you were part of the 80-day obsession thing, but I think from a technical perspective, it's the same thing. Like you get it and then you get some sort of email and code of like how to join the Facebook group.
Yeah. And any coach has the opportunity to be a part of that. So any of your downline, any of your family that are coaches, anyone who is a coach, as long as they have access to the 2B Mindset program, they will then have the opportunity to get some feedback and that one-on-one test group of sorts, the office hours with you. So it's, I think, an amazing opportunity and something, and I think I kind of said this at the beginning, but there's just something about you where you're just in your mind, our minds, like the second you start to listen to these things, you start to repeat a lot of your Ilana-isms and a lot of the things. And I'm so excited for that water bottle because the series are so fun and they just help you to really get your mind right, every single day. And every time you take a sip, it's just going to be a good reminder. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there were a couple of questions that I thought were really good. And I want Lacey maybe to unmute herself if she's listening and ask this question herself because it was such a good one and I think you'll have a good response for it. Lacey, are you on?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I am just curious, when you first heard about Beachbody, were you skeptical of Shakeology? I have a friend who is becoming a dietitian and she hasn't looked at the ingredients, but she feels that she can make a shake just as healthy. And I know that's not the case, but I'm just curious
Certainly
your take on it.
Yeah, no, I think out of any like shake powder in the world, by far the hardest one to ever copy would certainly be Shakeology. I don't think there's any protein powder in existence that ever sources as many botanical superfood ingredients, but also at high quality. But the interesting thing is I actually had a private client, like several years ago, show me a Shakeology packet. And she was like, my friend just sold this to me. What do you think? And I was like, so ready to be like, this is bullshit. And like I looked at it and I was like, oh shoot, this is actually really like not bad. Like this is actually great. Like, do you want to have this every day as like part of your consistent breakfast? Like this can totally work. And it's funny because she reached out to me when she saw like in the past couple of months, I was drinking from Beachbody. She's like, do you remember when I showed you like, because now she knows I drink it all the time. She's like, you were actually like really impressed with it. So like, of course I go into everything super skeptical. And like, full force skeptical, 100%, like every single Beachbody product, like everything that's ever come out, every program that's come out, like I literally read every single thing. And I would never have like aligned myself with a company or organization that I ever thought like did anything that I wouldn't support. So even though my philosophy and nutrition program is very different than any other nutrition program that Beachbody's ever launched with, there's like Beachbody has never launched a program where they didn't recommend people eat several times a day, that they ever, like everything has always been sound. Everything has always been with the supervision of PhDs and RDs through and through. So I totally was skeptical, but I've actually been blown away. And not only when I did my own research, but actually, just so you know, Lacey, like I have the absolute privilege of having meetings periodically with the research and development team at Beachbody. And I cannot tell you how much I just want to film and record every conversation I have with them. I think they need to be way more like on camera talking about Shakeology. I learn so much every time I speak to them. I can go into this for a while, but like Shakeology is so much even greater than people realize. Also, like right now, something very hot and popular are adaptogens. Like you're seeing adaptogens everywhere, like adaptogen mushrooms, reishi maca, like there's tinctures and there's smoothie powders and there's moon juice and like all these brands, Sigmatic and Selling Teas have these adaptogens. And I've spoken with the research and development team at Beachbody. They've had adaptogens in Shakeology for years, way before it was trendy, but also like they say like, I mean, these are like mushrooms and they are sourcing by far the cleanest, highest quality ones. And they have literally flown out all over the world. And they say like, if you're like, they like the research, like these PhDs at Beachbody said like they would never have adaptogen sourced from any other company or brand, because if it's not high quality and superior to Shakeology standards, it's disgusting. And also like there's so many aspects of Shakeology, like even the probiotics. So Shakeology has probiotics in it, and there's probiotic powders and yogurts now and crackers and all this stuff that brands are saying like their foods contain probiotics, that good bacteria in your gut. Shakeology actually tests to ensure that they're still live, that they're still active, that they're still valuable in the bag when you consume them. All these crackers and pills and yogurts for kids marketing probiotics like totally do not have that level of testing. So, I mean, in doing more and more research with Shakeology, I've been even more and more blown away with its quality, and feel great about having it, sharing it with my family. Like my daughter has daily sunshine every day. I'm actually really proud of that, for so many reasons that I can go into. So I'm very lucky that I am a spokesperson for it, and really do appreciate it so much. Because yes, I'm very, very skeptical of so many other things. And I say to my husband all the time, like I see dietitians, spokesperson for different brands, stuff like that like I don't think that they're like so as proud of. And I feel very honored that I get to rep such a great product.
Yeah. And I love that too. I mean, if you guys follow Ilana on Instagram or Facebook, you see how in depth she does research on food and labels and showing comparisons between different brands and, you know, people who market their food for organic or healthy or whatever. And it's just really true. And it's comforting to know, I mean, you have such a history and a background in nutrition to hear, you know, kind of what your thoughts are in Shakeology and just really how good it is for our bodies. So
yeah, and it's such a great integrated part of the 2B mindset too. And I think you guys will appreciate like how I look at it, which may be different than how you've been thinking about it or even presenting it to, you know, your customers.
Yeah, I really loved that too, because I think a lot of people feel like that's their meal and really it's just a part of our meal in the 2B mindset. So it's kind of exciting and I can't wait for everyone to learn more about it. Okay, you guys, I haven't seen any other questions pop up, but Ilana, is there any last thing that you feel like you want to leave us with, or that you just, I don't know, that you've been thinking about?
No, I'm just so excited for all of you to get started. I think I really hope you're all in that group. Jerica has a sign behind her that says "eat," which I'm sure is a bigger thing, but I think that's really funny. I love it. I should have that sign behind me right now. So I'm really excited for you all to do it. Melissa, thank you so much for hosting this.
Erin raised her hand, and I don't know if that means she has a question. Erin, did you have a question? You can unmute yourself if you do.
Yeah. You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I am actually giving birth on May 11th. But I want to join the group, so I don't know if you suggest that I do it after I give birth, like immediately after, or if I should sign up and start everything on the 2nd.
Well, first of all, congratulations. Your face looks amazing.
Yeah.
But so the specialty pricing is May 2nd to June 4th. If you guys saw that, because June 4th the app gets launched. So they're actually there are actually going to be a lot of groups that start June 4th. And if you just sign up May 2nd, you already get into my group, you don't have to be active in it, but you might just want to be in it and then get active, closer to June when you feel like you can. So I would maybe like still get it within that window before June. So like you get the specialty pricing, and get into the Facebook group, and then maybe just get more active, as you feel ready, just so you have that in your arsenal. Cause like, why wouldn't you want that?
And do you suggest starting it like as soon as I have the baby, or do I give myself like
I would give yourself like a week. I would give yourself maybe 2 weeks. I work with a lot of postpartum women, like literally women, first of all, tell me they're pregnant before they tell their husbands, like the first one. But also a lot of women literally text me from like the delivery room, like, I need to be in the 120s by tomorrow. And I'm like, okay.
Calm down.
So I get it. Like I'm pregnant and I had a daughter, and I get like, you're always antsy to get back feeling good in your body. One thing I can say though is sleep is such a helpful part of weight loss, and sleep is such a just good part of like feeling good and being good. I really recommend women like first focus on like getting as much sleep as they can, and making that the number one wellness priority that you put in your body, like that you focus on, and then weaving this in when that feels more in control, which for some people is like it depends on your situation. But if you can like switch off with your husband a little bit, or your baby like goes back to, it's so hard to say, right? We're in like these boats of like, what will this kid be like? So, I guess it really is depending on you, your energy level. This does take focus. And so kind of like if you have like this beautiful, hopefully sleeping, healthy, wonderful baby, I pray for you that you do, then, maybe you can. And then if it's like, you're a mess, then I would wait. So you can put your focus on that.
And I don't know if Micah is on the call, but Micah had her baby not too long ago, and she was in the test group as, one of the pregnant women. And she has said like just implementing just some of the little parts of it, drinking more water, and you talk about this all the time on your Instagram. We do not consume enough water. And so I think just knowing that you don't have to be perfect with the 2B mindset, but like Ilana said, getting into the group early so you have the knowledge. Right. So when you're ready, you can just start right away.
Yeah. Because I'll be like going live in there and like doing, question and answers that will be saved in there that like you might not have time to watch or be part of then, but like it is going to be like exclusive content and stuff that you're going to want to maybe reference back to. So I think, as many people like, anyone who's a coach should get part of that group. Like it would only be beneficial. There's so many people who've done the test groups who are like, Ilana, like you've said this one thing on a conference call, but that it's not in the product. And it's like, I say a lot of things. This is like years and years of practice. Like we couldn't fit everything into these videos. We do a lot, but there's just so much more in-depth explanation that, I'll be able to go into possibly like on that group that you're going to want to be part of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Well, I don't want to take any more of your time. I know you're very busy and you're pregnant and you're probably needing to go to the bathroom with all of the water that we drink. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Share everything with us, and hopefully everyone will get to know you better in the test group or in the office hours group. And so
love you all. Thank you all for being on this call. It really means a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Bye, Melissa. Thank you so much for organizing.
Thank you, Ilana. Yeah, we'll see you soon.